So I always like to talk to my clients about carbohydrates, and I think that they are a real source of divided opinion in not just the industry, but obviously the common person on the street. Carbohydrates are a vital tool of healthy eating, and I know that most people tend to think of carbohydrates as being something that will, if consumed, make them put on weight. The amount of my clients, especially female, it has to be said, that when they fill out a diet plan for me and I have a look at what they eat throughout the course of a day and a week, they're always talking to me about, oh no, I don't want to eat carbohydrates because obviously that's going to make me gain weight. But that simply isn't the truth. And I know in previous videos I've talked about the importance of carbohydrate selection. So simple and complex carbohydrates. That is actually the key behind carbohydrate consumption. Now, by that I mean trying to avoid carbohydrates such as high sugar foods, things like donuts, obviously, anything with high sugar content in there, and things like white bread and starchy carbohydrates. If you are going through a heavy loading training schedule, carbohydrates become even more important. So that's when we need to start thinking about the complex carbohydrates such as oats, sweet potato, brown pastas and rices, and grains and things like that, that are actually a vital part of the energy building system that you need in order to train very hard. For those people that are really looking to seriously change their body, you need to restore the body's and muscles' glycogen levels, and carbohydrates play a key part in that process. So my answer to that is carbohydrates definitely do not make you fat as long as you are making the right carbohydrate choices. Stay away from the high sugar foods. Some people will disagree and say white bread's fine. I mean, I personally think white bread, I tell most of my clients just to stay away from white bread and potatoes, because sweet potatoes are a much better source of carbohydrate than an ordinary potato. Especially when you look at them on the GI index, the glycemic index that shows you how the body deals with carbohydrates. So yeah, carbohydrates are fine, and especially if you are doing a very heavy training program or you're getting into exercise, carbohydrates are a key component of your diet. Also, to add to that, timings of carbohydrates intake is really important as well. So I always talk to my clients about having a carbohydrate sort of pyramid. So when your physical activity levels are extremely high, that's when carbohydrates are very important for you to consume. So I always say in the morning and lunchtime, definitely carbohydrates are great then, and then tail them off towards the evening. So carbohydrates are generally lower in the evenings. That being said, if you're training in the evenings, you need to start thinking about whether or not you're going to amend that and having some carbohydrates before and after you train in order to help replenish the body's energy stores. But that's basically where we stand on carbohydrates.